like my style, she like the way I talk. Cause then she say she like me cause I'm from New York.
Damn, dude.
What up, everybody? Welcome to the Damn Dude Podcast.
Damn, dude.
This is episode 67, season 2. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Oh, yes. Welcome to the show. What up, you guys? This is your host. I am your host. One of those. He, they, them is your... I am your host, California Cal, and this is the Damn Dude Podcast, where we have the conversations that need to be had in a way that'll make you think and say, damn, dude.
Damn, dude.
Damn, dude.
A lot of dudes are afraid to have these types of conversations that we have on the show, and I've found that a lot of women are actually like, fuck yeah, and are like, kind of come from this place of like, man, I wish my dude was having these conversations and thinking about this shit. So, you know what I'm saying? This is one of those things that we just go deep and we keep it real as fuck. We keep it real raw. And yeah. So without further ado, let's get into this shit. I hope you guys are having a dope day. Today, for those of you guys who've been following along, I've been following my animal-based diet. I haven't been drinking coffee, smoking weed, none of that shit. But today, I needed I didn't need coffee. I actually powerfully chose to have some coffee. Whoa, excuse me. And yo, because I had a fucking wild dope ass night last night. It was just fucking cool. I didn't get like everything in my night, like excuse me, I got like hiccups all of a sudden. What was I gonna say? Yeah, no, it was just it was a long night. I was productive, it was fun, all of that. And you know, I didn't end up eating till way late and waking up super late as well, fucking exhausted, but like super stoked. And I was dreaming, and I just kept having crazy dreams. It was fucking cool. Like I was cruising in a dark green Lamborghini, which is weird, but cruising in a dark green Lamborghini and cruising with a hot ass girl, and it was just fucking like one of those dreams where it was just like so it just was so real feeling, you know. And I'm kind of like, wow, this is a trip, dude. Like those dreams where it's like, it's so real. Like you feel like you're living like a whole real day. And then you wake up and you're like, did I even fucking sleep? Like, was that real? Was that fake? Like, do I have a Lamborghini? Like, I don't think so, you know? And like, so it's funny, right? And so that was exhausting. I woke up, I'm like, dude, I think I can actually use what the point of coffee is today. And I would like that. My go-to morning drink has been kefir with honey, plain kefir with honey and some sprinkle of sea salt, Redmond sea salt specifically, no microplastics in it. And I sipped this coffee and I've maybe got like 6 sips. That's hard to say, 6 sips. And I am like hot and like already like, and you know what I'm saying? It's pretty cool. It's doing what it's supposed to do. But no, what we're going to get into with this is like, what the fuck is our highest self? And like, what are the things that go along with it? Like, I know we all hear kind of like this is one of those things, like, I realize it's kind of starting to become like how people say, oh, manifesting. And it's like, people don't actually know what the fuck they're talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like, people will say, oh, I manifested this. And it's like, well, I mean, I guess if you really want to put it that way, but all you did was save up, you know, you knew how much money you were going to make in your next paycheck and you used that money to buy whatever it was that you wanted. Like, that's not really manifesting. That's just going and buying something. Like manifesting, I think, is something that's like way bigger than we realize. It's like beyond the scope of what you believe is possible. And then you somehow made it real and come true to you. Like, that's what I think manifesting is. I don't think it has to do with such small things. It's like, when you really focus intention and purpose and your subconscious is being trained to want that thing, that person, that lifestyle, that whatever, it's something that's bigger than you can just go to the store and purchase with your paycheck. You know what I mean? It's like to have your dream mansion on the beach. You can't just fucking go use your paycheck and buy that. Not unless you've been manifesting in a way that's far beyond and bigger than that. Hold on 1 second. I've realized I forgot to turn my light on. 1 minute. Oh, hey, I'm here. Okay, there we go. All right. Sorry, guys. I'm back. I forgot to flip the little my secondary light on, which actually makes this all like viewable in the videos. And I need to manifest me some internet in this house so that way I can actually, you know what I'm saying? Like use my computer and use the internet. Like, fuck, I think it's time. I've been scared that, I can't afford it in the winter time and blah, 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 all this bullshit excuses. And I'm like, no, you know what? Fuck that, homie. Like, let's make this shit happen. So I'm going to write that down as a goal, actually. Get internet in your fucking house, you fucking weirdo. How are you supposed to do online anything? No fucking internet. Using hotspot is not reliable enough or consistent enough. So anyway, I'm looking at this and it's like our highest self. I feel like it's kind of become one of those things, oh, my highest self. And it's like, I went on vacation and I took pretty pictures by the beach. That's not it. You know what I'm saying? It's like people are like, oh, I'm living my best life. Like, no, you're not. Like 99%, maybe not that much, maybe like 95% of us are not living our best life. 95% of us are not thriving. I'm just making numbers up, but that's as it appears and seems, right? The majority of us are not living our best life, and we are not in tune or connected to our highest self. Now, I had a conversation with my homie Sebastian, and we were talking about this, and like, I'm going to go through some of the training he's doing, and actually, we might have a big surprise for you guys here pretty soon. I'm really excited about this, but anyways, I got to do some work before I actually get to that point. And it's like how I'm looking at this highest self thing is like, I realized that when I envision the highest version of myself, I don't mean fucking smoke the fuck out. I don't mean crack the fuck out, twack the fuck out, whack the fuck out. I mean my actual highest self, like the highest version of myself, the best version of myself. Like, what am I fully capable of? What is my capacity as a human being to create the life that I love and to influence and impact the people of this world and anybody who knows me or is around me, or even if you don't know me? Like, I want to be able to touch and inspire people's lives in ways that are bigger than I can imagine, right? So I think a big part of this is like creating a life that we love, even when life has completely bankrupted us. Now, there's people that say, oh, I can't even imagine, like, I could not start a new relationship again. And it's like, dude, if you could not start a new relationship again, that means you're kind of stuck. You know what I'm saying? It's like, fuck, I don't give a fuck if I'm 70 years old. I mean, it's not that I don't give a fuck, but it's like, I'm open enough to be like, all right, if I'm 70 and I fucking, whatever relationship I have doesn't work out, or if I have one or not, or whatever, I'm not afraid to start over. You know what I'm saying? I could be 80, 90 and be like, you know what? All right, I'm going to find me a fucking fly ass girl who's cool as fuck. You know what I'm saying? And she don't even have to be fucking 20 and want me for my money. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's weird anyway, but no. So like, I'm like, okay, when life bankrupts me, I can still fucking recreate. I can just take all these life lessons and put them into the next thing that moves forwards. So it's like, if we're in alignment with our highest self, then we know how to actually, we know that everything along the journey is just a lesson and is congruent with the highest version of ourself. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Damn, dude.
So I guess just to touch on this real quick is like, when we think of our highest self and the best version of ourself, we often lack many specifics. Now, if you think about like, I guess a very common thing that like men and women can relate to is like a car that you really want, or no, let me say this. The car that you're actually going to buy. That takes a certain level of tapping into, honing into, I want this car, I want it this color, I want it fucking 4-wheel drive, 2-wheel drive, I want it fucking lifted, lowered, I want the interior this material, I want air conditioning, I want power, this, that. And then you got the things where it's like, okay, I don't care what, you know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, I want a fucking Toyota truck. Or I mean, let's get specific. So, okay, let's say I want a Toyota Tacoma. Okay, cool. You want a Toyota Tacoma. So, you know you want a Toyota. You know it's the Tacoma. you know between what year range you want it in. These are very, very specific things. Now, let's say you don't care what the color of the interior is, or let's say you don't care what the color of the exterior is. Like, you don't care what color the paint is, but you want it to be nice. You want it to be new. You're open to either fucking white, blue, red, fucking black, whatever, right? Green. Now, those are all specifics. You've basically lined up what you know that you want and you don't want. And that's like an example of how we are or aren't tapped into our highest self. Because it's like, if we were to ask the question, okay, your highest self, how much money do they make? Millions. That's not an answer. You know what I'm saying? That's like saying, I want truck. What kind of truck? Toyota. Well, what kind of Toyota? Tundra. Okay. Or Tacoma. Okay. What year? Between 2006 and 2010, whatever, right? Okay, that's all incredibly specific. Now, what's that called? Your RAS, your reticulated activated system, I think that's what it stands for. Reticulated activated system. But that's the thing that's like, when you decided, you really, really chose for yourself, okay, I want a blue Toyota Tacoma this year. Now you start seeing them everywhere and you're like, dude, I see these everywhere. That's your reticular activated system, your RAS. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. I could be wrong, but don't get me. Yeah. But that's what that thing is in our brain, right? And that's the thing that hones in and focuses on and allows us to see blue Tacomas of this year, of that particular year. So that there's something that happens in our brain that kind of starts filtering out all the rest of the shit, and it starts seeing these in particular, like, damn, I didn't realize how many of these were around. But the thing is there's not more of them. There's the same amount. It's just that your your RAS, you could go learn about that in Ed Milet book or just look it up online. The Reticular Activated System. Let's just call it your RAS. It hones in on exactly that. So this is the thing, is when we do not specify what or who our highest self is, we cannot hone in on that.
Damn, dude.
So it's like, okay, what's the highest version of yourself look like? How much money do they make? Millions. How many millions? 30 million. Okay, cool. Well, how many hours a week do you spend working on that? How much time a week do you spend, or how much time a week do you spend working? How much time do you spend with your family? How much time do you spend with your activities, your hobbies? And it's like, once you start narrowing down and pulling these exact equations out of this, then we start honing in and narrowing in, and then our RAS kicks in and says, okay, everything else that's not in alignment with making 30 million and spending 40 hours a week working, then, you know what I'm saying? Then otherwise, if we don't have that in place, then we're not going to know. We just say, I want truck. And it's, you see what I'm saying here? Now, I just learned this yesterday from my homie Sebastian. And it's like, when you can really start honing in on, okay, what does it actually take to make $30 million? What team do I need? How many people? How many dollars a month? How many dollars an hour is it? How many dollars per fucking day is that? How much work do you need in order to have that amount of money manifest itself? You see what I'm saying? So it's like, it's not necessarily that shit just appears out of thin air. It's that, like, we put a calculated system into place, and that in turn equals getting exactly what the fuck we want. You know what I'm saying? It's like, if I want a fucking woman who's tall and tan and has gorgeous hair and a beautiful smile, then I'm going to start fucking honing in on that. And the more that I picture that woman, the more that she's going to appear. You see what I'm saying? It's like, it's interesting how these things work. So it's like, what happens when that happens is, like, when you end up finding somebody who's like your dream girl, or the girl that you, or the man or whatever, right, that you really desire, you start seeing them. So it's like, if you say, oh, my type of women or man or whatever is this type, you only start seeing those people as attractive or whatever, and then you're going to start noticing them more. But the thing is like, okay, then you hone in on who is that? What type of personality do they have? What type of things do they like to do? What type of potential parent are they? What type of potential partner are they? What type of all of these things, right? How much fun do they provide to your life? How much peace do they provide to your life? All these different things. So this is where it's like, I think when we can kind of get ourselves right and we start taking ownership for things that are beyond our control is kind of the first step to getting honed in on this. Because if we're constantly a victim of circumstance, our RAS system, our RAS, Reticulated Activated System, is not honed in on anything. It's just kind of like going, oh, this happened, oh, this happened, oh, this happened. We all know people like that. And we all have done this ourselves, like, I'm sure. You know what I mean? Now, I'm not speaking for any of you guys, but I know that this is just kind of how humans fucking work. And if you don't fucking share, how the fuck do you do that? You know what I mean? You got to teach us. But here's the thing is like, this is the process of me learning that and trying to understand that so we can share and get this. So imagine if we can all live the life that we love. You know what I mean? And you can at least be fucking fulfilled in what you do. Not everybody has to go be an entrepreneur. Not everybody has to go create this and that and fucking save lives and help people and blah, blah, blah. If you play your part and you live a good, fulfilled life and you love what you're doing and your family's proud of you and you're proud of you, in the grand scheme of life, if you have quality people show up at your funeral, if you have quality people showing up in your life, that's a great thing. You know what I'm saying? So I think a big piece to tuning in to like narrowing in and zeroing in on the exact specifics of what we want out of life, I think if we can't even do that, because there's times where I can't even fathom, okay, how much money do I want to, does the best version of me make a year? What type of car does the best version of me drive? What type of truck does the best version of me drive? What type of woman does the best version of me have? What type of, or I shouldn't say have, but am with, you know, you get what I'm saying? What type of family dynamic do I want? Where do my kids go to school? How many hours, where do we travel to? All of these things. What do we do when we travel? And you see, but getting the specifics. Okay, I want to go to Africa. I want to go to fucking the Middle East. I want to go to this, that, all the, right? Specifics. What do you do when you're there? What type of places do you stay? What do you learn? What do you do, right? Specifics. So the more we can hone in on these specifics, obviously the more that our RAS system hones in on these and we start seeing, quote, 2010 blue Tacomas everywhere. Great. That's how you hone in on it and you narrow in on it. Kind of back to the point of like, okay, the car that you actually bought, because that was the one you wanted, you had to narrow it down in order to get to that place. You know what I'm saying? Like for me, I wanted a fucking lifted Land Cruiser. And I've been my RAS system has been honing in on them for the last several years. Like the last 2 years, I just fucking really got into old Land Cruisers. I thought they're fucking sick as fuck. So I'm like, okay. And I end up with a red lifting one. And it's actually nicer than what I even had in my head, which is crazy to me. But that's kind of the power of that. And it came to me sooner than I could have even imagined. So that's kind of the power of honing in on the specifics. You know, I wanted mine lifted about 4 inches and mine's lifted fucking 4 inches. I wanted mine with nice interior. I wanted white or red. I got a red one. I wanted 94. I ended up with a 91, but it's fine. You know what I'm saying? I was open between, I want 90 to 96. And those were my, I wanted 90 to 94 and I got a 91. And that's fucking cool, right? So I think something that happened though is like, I'm like, how did I get to the point of even honing in on that? Because I know that once I hone in and I focus on this is what I want, I'm getting it. Nobody can tell me otherwise, and I'm going to get exactly fucking that. Like back in the day when I wanted my quad, that was like the first major thing I purchased aside from like a PlayStation in 7th grade. Like that was a big deal, saving up over $100 to buy that. But I was like, I'm fucking getting one. I don't care. I don't care how many fucking candy bars I got to sell. I don't care how many fucking doors I got to knock on. I don't care how many fucking hours I got to spend in front of Vaughn selling candy bars. I'm going to do this. You know what I'm saying? Same thing. I paid for a trip to San Francisco. I made $1,200 in like a month and a half selling dollar candy bars in front of Vaughn's. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, I learned to, And I did that, and I made money to go on my San Francisco school trip. My parents didn't have the money. It's like, well, if you want to go, you got to fucking hustle the money. Here's your means. Go for it. So, damn it. What the hell? Okay, there's like hair in my, not hair, but like lint in my coffee. Fucking coffee. See, this is probably a sign that I don't need to be drinking this shit. But you know what? Today, I'm okay with it. It's totally fine. Okay, I got that. Sorry. Yeah, so I'm like, okay, once you kind of cut out the bullshit, you'll do whatever it takes to get there because it just doesn't matter. And you don't care who says what. I didn't care how many times I got rejected. Do you know how many times people walk by me as an 11-year-old kid, flat out ignored me? Full on adults. This is pre-cell phones. Like, you didn't even have a cell phone to be lost in. You know what I'm saying? Like, back in the day, you couldn't just pretend you were on your phone and like blow past the Girl Scouts in the front or whatever. Like, you kind of had to just be rude and be like, I'm ignoring you, and just walk past you, or just walk up and go, no. I'm like, hi, no. Dude, like, who talks to kids like that? You're like, you're a dick, dude. But the thing is, I didn't care. Dude, I got told no more times than I got told yes. But I'll tell you what, I definitely remember the more times I got yes because I was focused on yes. I didn't give a fuck if you said no. The same way that I don't give a fuck if I see silver Tacomas everywhere. Like, that doesn't, I'm not offended because I want a blue Tacoma. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, there's silver Tacomas around. Those are the no's in life. That's the one I don't want. That's fine, but I'm not going to focus on that. I'm just focused on the blue ones because that's the one I want, right? So I'm like, okay, I'm going to sell these candy bars. I'm going to get yes. And that was in alignment with my highest self. And it was the same thing when I wanted my quad. I was only 17. I couldn't finance anything. I didn't even have a job. But you know what? I went and got a job, and I was willing to go get another job. And then what happened was my mom saw I was so serious. She's like, you know what? I'll help you out. Like, you can use my name to finance this and my credit, and you just make the payments on it. Like, fuck yes, let's go. So I do that, and I have my fucking quad before I'm even 18 years old. This is a brand new $10,000 quad. And I got it blue. I got it with the exhaust. I got the helmet I wanted. I got the fucking paddles I wanted. I got the tires I wanted. I got the bumper I wanted. I got the intake I wanted. I got the jet kit I wanted. I got the fucking the tires and the paddle tires and the fucking razors, all of that shit. And I got the little fucking billet like brake mount and all these different things and all this shit and like all the covers, all this stuff, right? Like, it wasn't crazy, but as a 17-year-old, it was a pretty fucking big deal, right? So I made that happen. I manifested that. I was in alignment with my highest self. And I say manifested it because it was something that was completely out of my reach and not capable. I had another 5 years on my plan, but I ended up getting it in less than half the time. And this is kind of the magic of owning in on that. It's like, honing in on exactly what the fuck we want, cutting out the circumstances in life. Well, not cutting out, but owning all the circumstances in life, I should say. Because here's something that I really learned. Hold on a minute, actually. I realize we got to take a break here real quick. We might have some real sponsors coming because, like I said, I will never promote anything that I don't believe in or use myself. And you guys know this to be true, that I've gotten many different podcast sponsor opportunities for, hey, you want to promote our podcast? Hey, you want to promote our whatever? But I don't listen to that podcast. Sorry, you know what I'm saying? No offense. I don't use it myself, so I'm not going to try and push it to anybody. One time I was looking for like a yoga wheel sponsor because I use a yoga wheel and I love it. So I still would take a yoga wheel sponsor, you guys, and we'd make it fun. Finger licking Fred and all that would come forth. But anyway, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to be right back.
Damn, dude. Damn.
Boy, howdy, clam chowder. It's your boy, finger licking, finger fucking, finger ducking, chicken chucking Fred. I'm here to remind you to not be a little bitch. Do what you love in life, because life is too short. Bitch! You get it? Ha ha ha. Too short. What's my favorite word? Bitch!
Damn, dude.
What up, you guys? So, I think it's funny that last night. So, yesterday morning, I have a conversation about what does my high self look like? What does he do? How much money does he make? I filled out a form, all this stuff, right? And I did all this. And coincidentally, at night, I have a dream about driving a green Lamborghini with like the girl of my dreams. And I'm like, okay, like, do I want a Lamborghini? Like, like, I didn't even know that I want a Lamborghini. Do I want a Lamborghini? I don't know. I mean, sure. I think I would prefer a Ferrari, but you know what? I'd take a Lamborghini. And I'm like, is that what I want? I know that girl's is what and who I want, but that Lamborghini, do I want that? What about all this other shit, right? Now, I'm like, I think there's something that's important when we're talking about owning the circumstances of life, because, and I'm sure you guys have heard this a million times by this point, but life happens for us, not to us. Now, there's different ways you can try and debunk that, but all it is just kind of taking another context and adding it rather than it actually being debunked. So I believe that if we don't accept that life happens for us and not to us, then we're training our brain to believe that, and we're actively choosing suffering. Because if you don't believe that, okay, I got injured. Oh, it took me out of work. I didn't get to compete. Excuse me. I didn't get to fucking do whatever. I didn't get to perform. I didn't get to whatever your thing is, right? It's like, how is this happening for me? This is terrible. I didn't make my money. I didn't do my cause. I didn't do my whatever. How is this all for me? This is happening to me. How is breaking my fucking leg, or how is my this or that, or getting sick or injured or whatever? How is this all for me? Now, here's the thing is, like, if you don't accept that, then it's going to feel like it's not for you and it's happened to you. And that's not taking ownership and responsibility of your entire life. Because even though you didn't necessarily choose that for yourself, that's what happened. So why did it happen? What was the point? What's the reason? Oh, life hates me. Life sucks. Well, that's a shitty point of view. And how are you going to be happy or appreciate or learn anything? So if you think that if something like that happens and it's not for you, it's just happened to you, there's a lack of ownership in your life. And if you think that it's just happened to you, how are you supposed to learn? You know what I mean? Like, I look at, like, for me, a big example of that is going through school. Like, I so feel like that happened to me. Going through fucking elementary, junior high, high school, I had fun. But most of the time, like, I had fun with my friends and being creative and expressive and stuff, but I did not have a good time with schools. It was like 80-90% shitty and like 10 or 20% dope. Like, the dope parts just kind of way overrode the shitty parts. But that's the thing is, I look back, I'm like, I failed every single year. Not necessarily failed, but like, I mean, kinda. Actually, yeah, because I didn't pass every year. I had to go to summer school in order to pass. Every single year of my life since second grade. I've been to summer school every year of my life since second grade. Now, I'm being considered stupid this whole time. I'm fucking behind everybody in the school. I don't know if there was anybody else in the school who was doing as bad as me as far as my grades and my academics and all that shit. I'm just like, dude, this is fucked. Like, I just keep getting in trouble. I'm getting in trouble at home because I have to go to school. All this shit just keeps happening to me. You know, like, fuck. I'm like, what is the fucking point of putting me through this? For me to learn that I'm stupid? How does this help me? You know what I'm saying? But once I realized and I switched my perspective and my context, and for those of you that know, this show is about providing more and different contexts and perspectives in life, because that's what makes life funner and easier and gives us more to appreciate. I realized, dude, school did happen for me. Yes, it installed deep beliefs that I'm stupid. Yes, it installed deep beliefs that what I have to say doesn't matter. Yes, it installed deep beliefs that I'm a fucking, what's that word, a delinquent. Like, I'm a fucking bad kid. I do this. I steal. I cuss. I this. I that. I get in fights. All this shit, right? I ditch school. Whatever the fuck, right? And I'm like, dude, what I really realized is even though I was failing, it was because I didn't do their work the way that they wanted to. Now what I realize as an adult is, you know what? I actually outsmarted the whole fucking system. I passed, not with any flying colors, but I fucking passed. I graduated high school. I got a fucking diploma. I passed. And I fucking did it my own way. Now, you may or may not think that's cool or not, but I think it's cool because I used pure creativity to get through school. The things that I was doing to fucking cheat on tests and to get homework done and all these different things, you know what I'm saying? Like taking pizza from the Pizza Hut buffet and trading kids at school to do homework. Stealing tech decks and condoms and selling those at school in order to have money for lunch, which would help pay for the Pizza Hut buffet, then which would in turn pay to get my homework done. Dude, I created a dope business, but how it was looked at was like, you're a thief and you're a cheater and you're a liar. Fuck, how am I supposed to feel good about this? This is the only way I can get by because I cannot fucking understand the way that you're trying to make me do it. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I'm like, dude, I had to, at some point, actively choose that, you know what, this didn't all just happen to me. It all happened for me. Yes, it took like 20 years to fucking understand. I mean, maybe like 15 years to understand, whoa, that was all a blessing. That's what's giving me the insight to be able to have my business be different. You know what I'm saying? I'm seeing things that other people aren't seeing. Everybody else in school went with the program. I mean, almost everybody else in school went with the program. I was on my own program as far as that goes. You know what I mean? And it's like, I look at that and I'm like, okay, I used my creativity and I honed in and I knew exactly, like looking back, I'm like, I need to pass. I don't care what it takes to get there. I can't do it that way. You know, going back to the candy bar thing, I don't care about no. I don't care about the silver Tacomas. I care about the yeses, and I care about the blue Tacoma, and I care about passing. I'm going to finish this at some point. And that was why I told my son, I was like, dude, yes, you can drop out of high school if you want, but the thing is, you made a commitment to yourself. And if you said at any point, I'm going to fucking pass this, and you were serious, you need to honor that. You know what I mean? Because especially if the kid version of you honored that, that's why I didn't drop out of high school, and it was fucking torture every fucking year. You know, I was stupid. I was getting in trouble. I ended up fucking having the ATF raid my house. I was fucking got accused of murder, all this crazy shit. And I'm like, yo, this is a trip, dude. Like, what the fuck is going on? You know, and now that I can kind of make sense of it, I'm like, whoa, I saw the end result and I wasn't going to quit and I'm going to get there how I get there. And it was very specific. I'm going to pass and I'm going to have a diploma. Very specific. I want the blue Tacoma this year. Very specific. Okay, well, when we turn into adults, what do we do again? Well, I want a house in this neighborhood and I want to make this much money. Holy shit. Then you kind of start honing in on that and you start seeing how it's possible and you start seeing different fucking routes. Like if you ever play like football on a video game or NFL Blitz or whatever, it's like you pick the routes that your guys are going to run and it doesn't really matter. You've got fucking 12 different plays to choose from. But the thing is the point is to catch the ball and to get as close to the fucking touchdown as possible. Now, that's the thing is you know that the touchdown is there and it doesn't matter what fucking route you play. Sometimes you get sacked. Sometimes you got to go back a few yards. But it doesn't matter because the goal is the touchdown. And every single person on the team is in alignment with that. Now, each person's goal to get to that and to preserve that is different. If you're a defender, it's so the other person can't get to their goal, and so your team can get to your goal. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing is in life, you're going to have the people trying to score in their goal, and you're going to have you trying to score in your goal. But the thing is the more clear that you are on getting to your goal and everybody's on board, the closer and faster and easier it is and you are to get there. So this is how I see, like, when we start tuning into like getting what we want out of life the way that we want it, we become powerful humans. Like we become dangerous in good ways. You know what I mean? And I guess in bad ways too, where it's like, if you look at like a school shooter or something, it's like, man, fuck all these people. I'm going to kill all you motherfuckers. And you repeat it enough, and then you go to school and you start seeing it every day. You start thinking about how it's going to be done. You start thinking about what gun you're going to use. You start thinking about all this shit, right? And then all of a sudden it manifests into this real thing because your mind's eye, your imagination starts getting it starts tuning into what it wants exactly. And that's what I said, like it makes us dangerous, whether good or bad. You know what I mean? And dangerous in the sense of like a powerful person, making a lot of money, living the life you love. Like, whew, you know, that's crazy. That's dangerous, you know? Ooh. You know, I'm sure you get what I mean by that. But it's like when we getting what we want starts in our imagination, belief system, and conversations we have with ourselves.
Damn, dude.
Which in turn translates into the words we say, which creates our reality. If you think about that, like what you imagine, that again turns into, okay, I want a blue Tacoma. Okay, I want yeses for my candy bars. I want my diploma. I want to score a touchdown. That's in you. You have to be able to imagine that first before anything else can happen, because that's how you believe it, right? And then it's like that shapes our whole belief system. Do you believe you can score a touchdown? Do you believe you can have a blue Tacoma? Do you believe you can make $30 million a year? Do you believe that you can blank, right? That turns into our belief system, and that basically is what our RAS system does, and it tunes in and it forces and it kind of filters out all the rest of the bullshit, and it's a clear path. This is the one I want. This color, this way, this amount of time, blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? And I guess the time doesn't necessarily matter too much, but it's more like really honing in on it. And then it's like, well, whatever we believe turns into the conversations that we have with ourselves. You know what I mean? So it's like, what conversation are you having with yourself? Are you having the conversation of, I'm a fucking dumbass, blah, 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 fuck them, fuck this, fuck that, fuck life, life hates me, blah, 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 I hate life, I hate this, blah, 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 blah. Like, if the word hate is in your vocabulary, that's a good place to start. Start honing in on catching it and then shifting that word, because it's not an okay word. It's not a good word. You know what I mean? So, because the more that you say hate and the more that you think hate, the more you're going to attract that. And the more you've trained your RAS system to tune into that. You dig? So, in turn, like the conversations that we have with ourselves become the conversations that we have out loud. Now, if I start having conversations of, man, I don't like this, I don't like that, I hate this, fuck that, fuck this, you're going to attract people who are like that and of those conversations. People who are afraid to start over. People who are afraid to have their Sonic coins knocked from them. People who are afraid to do whatever the fuck it is, right? Like, so that it's like that will become your tribe of people, is negative people who don't do anything with their lives, whatever. But when you start having good and positive and powerful conversations, you start attracting more people who their RAS system is tuned into that also. So it's like you see somebody who's in tune with themselves, somebody who makes sense, who has common sense, somebody who understands life on a deeper level and understands that there's more to life than just the circumstances of it. This is why owning the circumstances is so important, because that becomes our reality. So it's like this whole thing of like what we imagine, what we fucking talk about with ourselves, what we talk about out loud, and then that becomes our fucking reality. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, the more that we have awareness of this, what are the conversations you're having with yourself? It's like, did you take the time to imagine what the conversations with yourself should be like? What type of thoughts would you like to have? Wow, right?
Damn, dude.
What type of conversations do you want to have? Now, a lot of us don't even stop and take the time to analyze that, but we'll put every fucking thing into, I need a 2010 blue Tacoma. Like, for reals, like, that, dude, you could buy a fucking 1980 fucking Toyota pickup which is damn near worth about the same actually. But you could buy a regular ass truck that'll get you from point A to point B for a fraction of the price. And it's like, isn't that the point of a car or a truck or a vehicle, right? Is to get you where you need to go. So this is the thing, is like, we will put so much more focus into that and then drive to a job we hate, and then drive back to a family we don't enjoy, drive back to a partner we don't enjoy, drive back to these miserable settings, go and drive to the bar, go and drive to our miserable friends, go and drive to, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, why would we put so much into the basket of just this physical thing, but we're not going to take the time to really consider what we want to imagine, what we want to train our RAS system to, what we want our belief system to be, what we want our friendships and conversations to be. Like, that's really going to dictate all the rest of it. Like, the car that you drive, that doesn't fucking matter that much. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, to a certain degree, and I get being like a car person and all that shit. Like, I love cars and trucks. Like, they're so cool to me. They always have been. And at the same time, I realized, like, dude, that is nowhere near as important as the shit that I think and the shit that I say and the reality that I create for myself.
Damn, dude. Because
what I want is those things to be healthy. And then the car and the this and the that will all come next. It's after. First, I have to take ownership of everything in my life and all the circumstances that happen to me, around me, for me, and understand, okay, cool. This is a lesson for this, and this is going to help shape the type of conversations that I have with myself. This is going to help shape the things that I think about, the things that I create, the things that I imagine. So we really got to fucking hone in on those things, because that's what's really fucking important. You know what I'm saying? It's like, we'll take the time to think about physical things that we want, but we won't take the time to think about the important details that matter in between. Yeah, you want the nice car to drive to a job you hate? Like, how does this add up? You know what I mean? So it's like, if you had the right conversations with yourself, you wouldn't care which car you had, because you would go to a job that you love.
Damn, dude.
And if you go to a job that you love, you don't really fucking care how you get there. The same way that it's like, well, I don't care if I picked the bomb pass or a fucking Hail Mary for my football play. I don't care. It doesn't mean anything. I just need to get to the end result. I need to score the touchdown. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I think a lot of us focus on the wrong fucking thing, because we're like, oh, I gotta work this job, blah, 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 so I better have a nice car to get there. No, that's so backwards. You should have a crappier car and work a better job. You know what I mean? Like, if we're really gonna break it down like that, I'm not saying you have to do anything, but it's like, this is why I see a lot of people are unhappy and unfulfilled, because they're driving something dope to something they hate. And then they're using that thing that's dope to get to another thing that they hate. And then they're using something that's dope to get to another thing that they hate. Now it's like, if we were to like look at the three major points of your life, whether it be work, home, and activities, and you don't enjoy any of them, or they're just bare minimum and not that dope, you could have the fucking flyest car, you could have whatever, and it's not fulfilling, it doesn't feel good. It's the same thing as like, I know I used to only focus on, I want a woman who looks like this. And it's like, I get how shallow this is, and I would skip the whole how cool she was, how she made me feel, the activities, this and that. Like, yeah, it would cross my mind here and there. But then I'm like, oh man, as I grow older, I'm like, holy fuck, I realized I was missing this whole thing. And I had this false idea in my head of what was cool. You know what I mean? It was like I was driving my cool vehicle to places I hate. But it's like, if you get the baddest girl in the world and she's mean, like, fuck that. Like, that's what I think a lot of people are doing. Is like, they're with a pretty girl who's mean as fuck, nasty as fuck, jealous, clingy, fucking damn near evil. But you're like, oh, but she's fucking hot though. She got a nice rack. Like, bro, shut the fuck up. Nobody cares. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it all doesn't matter. It's just nice paint. You know what I mean? Like, I would rather get to my destination. And it's like, I think when you tune into it, you can actually have both. Because it's like, believe it or not, there are absolutely gorgeous, beautiful, fine, sexy women who are fucking cool as shit and funny and lighthearted and easygoing and fun and funny. You know what I mean? So it's like, you can actually have all of them, but you have to be somebody who doesn't drive a painted turd, you know, a fancily decorated turd to this shitty thing, to the shitty thing, to the shitty thing. Look how nice I look. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hope that translates. Like, that's what a lot of us are doing. And we miss the gold in somebody and ourselves because we're so focused on, oh, I need this good looking thing to get to this thing that I hate. And that's not it. That's completely not it. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're missing a big point of life and fulfillment. And I don't believe that we can be fulfilled if we don't take the time to take control of, number one, the circumstances around us, whether it's in your control or not. Just fucking own it. You know, like Afro Man said, I refuse to trip on things I can't control. Boom, plain and simple. Why would you? You know what I mean? Just own it. As soon as you own it, there's nothing to fucking trip about. You know what? I like my fucking whole family and this and that all fell apart. I own it. There was things that were completely out of my control, completely out of my abilities to do anything. And I own it. That's fine. And what I mean by owning it is taking responsibility for how you feel about it, how you relate to it. That's how you own it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, because we can, I should say, be in control of how we feel about things. It's a choice. We get to pick. A lot of us pick suffering because we say, oh, it happened to me. So if things start happening for you and you start seeing the gold in it, like David Meltzer says, I don't have to take out the trash. I get to take out the trash. And his thing was, you know what? I've been working all day. Everybody's bugging me. I wish I had some time alone. And then my wife says, can you take the trash out? And taking the trash out is my least favorite chore. But you know what? I have a beautiful wife. And you know what? I get to take the trash out because, you know, when I go walk from the house all the way down to the end of the driveway, I have time for myself. And that was what I was asking for.
Damn, dude.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like, a lot of us live on the kind of broken loop. Like, we're getting exactly what we want, but we're interpreting it wrong. I want time for myself. Well, you know what? The walk back and forth is 2 minutes to your whole damn self. No, but I can take the trash. Blah, blah, blah. You wanted time for yourself. What the fuck are you complaining about? That's exactly what you got. You know what I mean? Now, maybe you should be a little more specific, but at the same time, why not make the best out of shit that you have to do anyways? Trash has to get taken out. Why not make the best of it? You see what I'm saying? So it's like owning circumstances that are kind of out of your control. That's what that means. And that's the power of that. It puts us in a place of appreciation and gratitude just kind of naturally. You know what I'm saying? So the more that we can tune into that, the better the fuck we are. So I think this is what the fuck our highest self is the practice of tuning in to the specifics of life that we want, and then appreciating everything that comes with it or doesn't come with it, because we know the end result, and we know that all the shit that we don't want is just silver Tacomas. That doesn't mean anything bad because you want the blue one. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, just filter them out, let them be. You don't have to be mad that you see silver Tacomas and you want a blue Tacoma. There's nothing upsetting about that. So it's the same way if you get broken up with, if you get fired, if you get whatever the fuck, it's happening for you. It's an opportunity for you to tune your RAS, for you to tune your way of thinking, your imagination, for you to tune the way you talk to yourself, you relate to yourself, you relate to life, you relate to other people, and then the relationships that you build and form, and so on. And then we start having the space and the capacity to say, I want this house, this style, in this neighborhood, worth this much, and I have to work this much, and I have to earn this much. You know what I'm saying?
Damn, dude.
Damn, dude.
That's some real ass shit, dude. So, you guys, this has been a dope episode. I had a lot of fun doing this one. So get what you want out of life, man. I'm doing a program to help get these things and manifest these things and learn more about my highest self. And I'm going to keep you guys updated and coming along with me on this journey. So also the animal-based diet has been I've been doing great, killing it, rocking it. It feels fucking good. I highly recommend everybody get on it.
Damn, dude.
Because why not fucking take the opportunity to feel fucking great?
Damn, dude.
Damn, dude.
So be sure to tell a friend to tell a friend to tell their best friends, cousins, uncles, lawyers, cousins, pig farming, goat herding, shepherd training, scout leader, pack honor. I don't know. About the Damn Dude podcast, please leave us a 5-star written review on Apple iTunes if you got any value out of this, or please share with somebody, share online. Share these episodes because this shit can really help people and really help us get what the fuck we want out of life and maximize it to the most. We cannot be afraid of these conversations. This is what we need to dive deeper into. Appreciate you guys. I got to get ready for work. I got a long ass day today. So appreciate you guys. Love you guys. Have a beautiful day. Much love. Peace.
Damn, dude.
Damn, dude.